It's good morning to Diane Clarke. Thanks for joining us here at Yellow Shelf, Diane.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
It's a pleasure. You are in my wonderful universe of authors who I'm excited to talk to. Your book, The Photograph. What can you tell us about the book? What do we need to know?
Well, I'll just show you the front cover to give you
Oh,
an idea.
love the visual.
It falls into that category of women's fiction, which is huge. Um, and so the elements of the story are that it's a story about family, there's a core mystery, and there are some historical elements. So my main character, Caryl, we actually don't meet her until she's in her 50s, but she's the little girl on the front cover of the book here, holding on to a teddy bear. And she was evacuated during the evacuations of London at the beginning of World War II. And she's always believed that she had a brother. But by the time she's old enough to remember anything with real certainty, she's living on her own with the woman who took her in. Her mother has passed away, and her host, her adopted mother, always says that no, she didn't arrive with a brother. And she's searched for him. She's tried to find him over the years and hasn't had any success. But when we meet her in that very first paragraph or chapter of the book, she finds the teddy bear. And in the back of the teddy bear is a photo, and she's in it with her mum and a boy. And it's the first piece of evidence that she's ever had that this boy exists. And so that sets her off searching again. So that timeline is 1995. But then we move forward to 2020, and it's her daughter, Megan, who's helping her at that point. And she's working in a society for former evacuees. And so you get to hear more of those stories through her timeline. But obviously, she's trying to help her mum too. And the thing about Megan is that she also has a secret, and she's lived all her life knowing the damage that secrets can do, because by that stage they know that there is some big secret around this boy, and so she has to decide, does she keep that secret or does she face up to it? Within the context, as I said, of what's happened to her mum.
Ah, and tell us about tell us about what then inspired you to start writing, because I know you've got another book coming out next year.
That's right.
So tell us about your journey to becoming an author and tell us about your background. We'd love to know more about you.
Okay. My career background was as a speech pathologist.
Okay.
I trained in the UK, worked there for many years, and then we migrated to Australia in the 90s. And I carried on in that career until I retired. Um, Writing was always a big part of my life and my work, but I'd never tackled fiction writing until I retired, and discovered that um, all of that writing experience didn't necessarily help me. Um, I had to start again. And actually, it's interesting. I wondered whether I might get the chance to go through this. When I launched the first book, um,
Yes.
I wrote a list of sort of fast facts, which readers might be
Oh, tell
might be
us.
interested in. So my writing journey began 9 years ago. I've written three full-length novels, over 50 short stories. I've had an agent, two editors, two manuscript assessors, a mentor. I've been on a writing retreat, numerous courses and workshops. I wouldn't even know, how to sort of all those. 10 plus beta readers, countless rejections,
Oh,
and
wow.
one publisher.
Yeah.
at that stage one contract. But as you say, they're taking on my other book, The Bracelet, and that will come out in March next year. So it's been a long journey. And
Yeah,
what I would say to anyone else, especially in those early days, is
yeah,
just keep
yeah,
going, because look what's happened for me. And I admit there have been times when I thought it wouldn't happen, but
yeah,
finally it has. So yeah,
yeah. And
yeah.
look, I don't think I've ever heard a story, unless you're already famous, that anyone who hasn't either been rejected or had setbacks as
Mm,
an author. And I think that's why I asked the question, Diane, because I
yeah,
think it's really interesting to hear the journey that is never overnight or never instant
no,
success,
no.
and really that persistency and sometimes courage to keep going to
Mm,
get to where. And yeah, look, that's the next book is out. The Bracelet is out next year.
yes,
Will you come back and talk to Yellow Shelf when that comes out?
I'd love to. Absolutely,
Yeah.
it's a very different story. So yes, I'd love
Mm.
to. Love
Well,
to.
look, in the meantime, I think people really need to kind of dive in and read the photograph and then get up to speed with you as an author. Tell
Yes.
us the best way to connect with you. I know you have a website, your book obviously can be purchased on Amazon and all those spaces, but how do we connect with you and the book, Diane?
So my website address, most of my sort of tags are my name and the word author.
Okay.
So Diane Clarke, author. Um, if you use that on Facebook, Instagram, and search on the web, you will find me that way. Again, with that journey of 9 years, I was just so lucky to nab all of those.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
there's the tip, isn't it?
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
that's right. So I'm not too difficult to find. And in terms of the book, it's available as both an ebook and a paperback, but you would have to go to Amazon to get the paperback copy.
Yeah. And look, what I'll do is I'll put that those references in the show notes for your socials and Amazon to make it really easy for anyone listening who's curious or who wants to find out a bit more about you and the book. Thank you so much for joining us. Good luck with the book journey and then the next book journey. And are you going to keep writing? Like, have you found the
Well, I mentioned in that list, there's actually a third book that I could go
oh,
back to. It needs a lot of work, though. I wrote it very early.
yep.
I didn't know what I was doing. I would say that to any sort of newish writers about learning your craft.
Okay.
I think that list gave people a bit of a sense that I have done a lot to try to educate
Yeah.
myself and share. I think being part of a writers' community is so important. Um, oh gosh, I've forgotten the question you asked now. Um,
Yeah, just about the next book and any more books, but you were saying the
Oh,
third
that's
book.
right.
Yeah.
So the first book really needs a lot of work because I probably wasn't really ready to write a novel at that stage. Um, but whether I go back to that or whether I start something new, and just to have the sort of a story that really grabs me. I think I found one now. I just need a kernel that will sustain you for quite a long period of time getting a book ready for publication. But I think I might have an idea now, so we'll see. We'll see.
Keep it going. Well, congratulations. And any books in the future, I would love to have you back. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, and good luck with this podcast. I think it's a fabulous idea to just have these short, sharp
Yeah.
introductions to authors and books. They're wonderful.
And as everyone knows this format, it's really short and sharp to get curious and
Yeah,
to make that connection. That's what it's all about. Thank you so much.
that's all right. Thank you, Joanna. Bye bye for now.